This is Katura once again with Mock. We are gonna do some commentary for the American time zone version of the World Championship Circuit here in August of 2025. It has just kicked off. We've got 9 participants here in this time zone. So we will be seeing those matches go up in just a moment. If you missed the excitement this morning, hopefully we will not have a repeat of the situation that resulted in the person in the top slot ending up with a bye. We believe that that was only really possible because there were a number of people that dropped from the tournament halfway through, and the remaining assignments were tricky enough that I think the algorithm that we use must have ended up in a situation where it thought that that was the best option. So we had to manually stop some of those games and have the 2 top players play up against each other. So we don't have the results just yet for that, and if you are looking in GIMP right now, then you will find the incorrect standings. So we will get those adjusted, but it just hasn't happened yet. All right, so officially it has begun. We should see it here in just all these tables go up in just a moment. Here we are. Let's see. So Chadwick got the pie. That one at least is legit.
It is a legitimate buy for Chadwick this time around.
Okay, let's see. So we have Elfagorn versus Skilled, Sithdora versus Rutil, Stefan77 versus Distali, and Lucas Shore versus Mozdref. Looks like it's very much a repeat of what happened this morning. We have a couple of new names, but looks like a lot of people that are hopping in for a second time. So let's see, what game should we take a look at? We've already watched Skilled a little bit. Sithdora and Rutil. Actually, they went down in the last. I believe that was the matchup for the very last round.
Yeah, I think Distali and Stefan, or Lucas Scholar and Mozdref are the ones we've seen the least of. And
we definitely watched Mozdref a lot with his technical deck, so let's take a look at Stefan77 and Distali.
Standard Prancing Pony start from Stefan here. Arwen and Sam to pull Aragorn. Greenleaf tutored using Estelle. Pulling a few of those burdens off, so he's not in Unkea territory anymore, though he does have 6 companions out, so I suppose he still is. Stolly dropping some serious early ally hate, but not enough to get one dead just yet. Kantea only really not wanting to go up against Arwen.
Plenty of other sacrificial lambs here, or even just going up against Aragorn and taking the lump.
Yeah, you can take 2 hits pretty easily. Streets of Bree has already done its magic by making Kantea a little bit cheaper. Nothing else to worry too much about here. That Ura Greater is actually going to cause a little bit of a problem, I think. Oh, never mind. Legolas is a 6. I was thinking that Arwen was going to have to fight the Tower Assassin, but that was incorrect. Staying at 6 companions, though, I expected somebody to get intentionally jumped off. Maybe hoping to hold Sam on until he heals up and removes a few more burdens. Moving to Distali's Fellowship, starting with Sam of Bagshot Row, not one we've seen a ton of, but with all of these Frodo signets, could have a lot of gain to it.
Yeah, so this one definitely received a... We gave it a buff errata in the most recent round, so that instead of requiring that Sam exert, you simply have it so that every time a Frodo Signet companion wins a skirmish, you heal that companion. So that is quite
a lot of Frodo Signet on the board right there.
Yep.
It comes very nicely with We May Yet, being able to heal up that exertion that you give yourself.
Yep.
Some Uruk-hai coming in from Stefan. Seems like Destali's taking a good think about where he wants to put these. Seems like there's a lot of options that are all roughly the same in the math of things, but I don't know what he has in hand. Gotta think there's a stealth coming there with the Frodo assignment.
Naturally, yeah. There's no other tools on the board that would be available, and we do have Saruman's Ambition, even if there were.
Yeah, it would be very early to be thinking about chumping him off and giving Sam the ring, but I suppose he has identified that he's probably not fighting against burdens. Heroic Ravager becoming fierce and a bit larger. He is chucking Frodo off.
Really? That's an interesting strategy. This
Unexpected,
early on,
yeah,
and this
for
is
sure.
Destali, so he definitely did that on purpose.
Yeah, 100%. First game, he's fresh. That's not a forgot to play a card mistake.
Maybe it's just the fact that he realizes that it's Isengard, and so he wants to make himself permanently immune to
companions.
Yeah, immune to savagery to match their numbers.
Yeah, and if he's not concerned about burdens, there's very few Isengard burden strategies out there. Frodo's not strictly better than Sam in that sense, but it does reduce his ability to later be able to pass the ring off if he gets in a bad state.
Wizard Storm going down on the table.
Great card to stop a double, but hard to think that Stefan was planning to try to double here. Yeah, I had a chat a little bit with the Stolly, specifically about the deck I believe he's playing, the Shadow Side. And I'm really interested to see how it actually plays out. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it sounds difficult to pull off on paper, and I want to see if he does it. Another Saruman's Ambition coming down. Stolly did drop another companion, so he's not staying under 5. But Greenleaf is, of course, always pretty useful. Less so now without his bow. And Stefan seems like playing nothing. Stolly stays. Stefan's Fellowship here is about as large as it can get. He is not worried about Nkea today. Just missing, what, Boromir and Gandalf at this point? Turbian Flock coming out to fetch another Wizard Storm. Try to slow down that double. And dropping a Witch King. And Nelia.
2 weathers going down now. We have that Wizard Storm to prevent the double.
Frost.
And each Hobbit this side is strength -2.
I don't think they had planned to skirmish and survive, but now they definitely won't. It actually means that they will lose even to the birds, which is
getting
fun.
Overwhelmed by a strength 2 Kerbane. That's interesting.
Yeah, Nelia is not the most common inclusion here. I wonder what specific sites they're there for. This may actually have been one of them, but Stolly's behind on the map, so got to put it out anyway.
I imagine that with all the ally hate, Confluence might be another one.
Does Confluence work if you swap it? Doesn't Confluence discard when you move?
You're right, yeah.
Could certainly see against a deck like this wanting to swap in whichever site 8 has the high archery with lots of companions. But Steven, a little wounded up here. That Witch King did his job all right, but in decent shape with still a fairly large fellowship. I think I missed the last part of the skirmish there. Did Arwen beat the Witch King? Wiping those conditions to get rid of Saruman's ambition. Staff hits the table, let Gandalf, for the same 2 wounds he would take for any Uruk-hai loss, be able to cancel the skirmish instead. May have the tiniest of misplays by playing the staff after playing Sleep Cadrus. Could have saved himself a Twilight.
Oh, yeah. Because the Twilight, yeah. But, I mean, I doubt that 15 versus 14 is going to make all that difference. It might, and it is possible for sure.
But unlikely to be a major event. Alert's hitting the table along with Saruman to keep him fierce. Saruman also makes him effectively immune to any kind of archery shenanigans, but Distali doesn't really have anything to use like that at the moment. Strength 13, he's bigger than anything on the table by default, but 1 axe strike away from becoming dust. No flurry of blows.
We've been seeing a lot of flurry of blows recently. I'm kind of surprised because those events have not been used in a long time.
Just the amount of dwarf we're seeing have been very aware that the only dwarf we're seeing from a Gimli perspective is the PC one. One of those things where I often wonder if we need to look at the other Fellowship Gimlis. In some events, we've seen a decent amount of Son of Gloin, but the other
I think Son of Gloin is he is able to burst his strength up.
Yeah, but he requires an exertion
and
to get to the same point.
It's not often that that's going to save you any amount of hurt, right? And then you're exhausted, whereas Pendula Longbeard is able to consistently have that +2 once you hit a board state that you're already trying to build towards. Yeah.
I do suspect a small tweak. If you made Son of Gloin strength +3 for an exertion, or Longbeard strength +1 when he has those items, I could see it being more in contest. But yeah, I think his need to exhaust himself to become better than the PC Gimli is by default. I'm sure there's a deck that can give him far more than 2 vitality and really cause some havoc, but kind of have to really build for that specialty.
Right.
Yeah. Gimli and Gandalf just kind of walking through the Uruk-hai here. Not too much to worry about with the Fellowship set up as it is. And Frore, who we haven't seen skirmish, is in fact going to be 11 against most of these Uruk-hai, so he's in good shape to be a.
Yeah, Distali wasn't the only one throwing Frore in, although it was, who was it? Was it Chadwick that was starting with him?
I think Chadwick started Gimli and Frore, yeah.
An interesting amount of
splash in today's meta. Wizard Storm yet again, really trying to stop those doubles.
And successfully doing so, I think. Like, it's managed to make sure that
there's another Tower Assassin. That's going to give him a kill here. Trigger off his... And
there's his friend that's really going to like it. So who do you take out?
Yeah, the Raiders.
You can take out Thrarin, you can take out Bounder, you can take out Callaghan. Yeah, I think Thrarin's a good choice. Or Thrarin is a good choice, yeah.
I suspect I would have gone for Bounder, but I don't know that would have been better in the long run.
I think at the end of the day, both Bounder and Thrarin represent the same thing, which is to say not losing a skirmish to a big minion.
Yeah, my thought was he's running all these raiders, and Thrarin exerts to use his ability, so the raider can kind of kill him in spot. Whereas Bounder, who also exerts, but his ability is now in play. He doesn't matter that he dies in order to save Frodo. But it's going to be a very small difference, and that assumes that you have a raider on the table when you trigger Theron, because if you don't, then he
Right.
probably is the better bet there. Not skirmishing with your ring bearer is likely better than having your ring bearer risk.
And there goes Sam into the dead pile with him.
Well, both sides are down to just the one ring bearer option. They've chosen different ring bearers, but...
And that's 9 total companions in the dead pile. Or no, I'm sorry, that's Theron in the dead pile. Never mind, there's still one more slot on Stefan's side.
I'm guessing he's running a Boromir in here, based on the rest of the field.
Very thematic, 9 walkers. Well, except Arwen, but,
Yeah,
sure
Arwen instead of Gimli is not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the Last Alliance there.
So that Lorien Throne Room coming into play.
Not a whole lot of allies to do the exerting. This one recently was limited quite significantly to once per phase, so Greenleaf can no longer absolutely machine gun the field.
Sorry, I'm going to go on mute just real briefly. Be right back.
Of course. Yeah, we're seeing another Swordsman's Ambition from Stefan. And maybe a good long think about what to play. Alert's hitting the table along with Lieutenant. Lieutenant's not going to survive here, but will allow Alerts to be fierce. Distali has another flurry of blows to blow through Alerts here. He could be doubling past the Sanctuary. He's in really good shape, and he's slowing down Stefan quite well with those Wizard Storms. But that assumes that he has something else in hand.
Yeah, it's interesting actually seeing those out. There's a number of people that have tried to make a wizard or just a weather in general work out. A good number of those crows are built around making weather work.
Yeah, a lot of the weather is very interesting. If you can play it reliably, those crows help. The Wizard Storms are good at stopping doubles, but they're of course a little on the useless side if your opponent wasn't planning to double anyway. And then avoiding the archery phase or no skirmish events can be really big at some of the bomb sites, like 5, 8, or 9. But you have to have them at the right time. I think they're harder to pull off than I might like. We got Elrond and Galadriel hitting the table. And Kea and a Witch King coming out. And Kea has 6 companions, so somebody is going to die. Tower Assassin coming through. What do you think? Taking out Bounder, finishing off Callaghan?
I'm not sure
Callaghan might be a worthwhile target.
Matters that well. I mean, yeah. Well,
yeah. Now that Galadriel's on the field,
yeah, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Take out the Bounder's ability to do anything.
Yeah, he does become real useless, and his raiders only need the one ally in the dead pile to do their shtick.
Shotgun and Quaya showing off why he's called that.
Removing Arwen from the table,
Arwen, and then...
getting removed in turn, I think, by Aragorn here.
Oh, there we go. Lorien Throne Room coming in now. That's an infinite number.
Elrond take the hit.
Not quite an infinite number, so I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4 more free Aragorn's bow uses.
Well, it's not anymore. It's limit once per phase. That came through in the last PC.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Yeah, this used to be completely busted.
Yep.
People would come in and just use that as a Gatling gun, and it would...
It's a single save now. Putting the assassin on Frodo, is that because the frying pan's going to finish him off?
Yeah.
Yep. There was
it paused for a moment, so I wondered if there was some sort of response event that was coming into play, but I think they were just not realizing that they had to click on the orc again.
Hmm. Yeah, healing up a bit with Elrond. And I would assume is stopping there. Witch King already on the table, and your party beat up at the Sanctuary. But it was the first time in a while there's been no Wizard Storm, so could have been a chance to run. Aragorn finally getting equipped. And moving to the Wilderland, where there is no archery phase. It's not going to make much of a difference for Distali, Legolas being his only archer. That might actually hurt Stefan more, and it's his Site 7, but he's got Aragorn's Bow in play here, along with Greenleaf on the table. I believe that's our third Lurtz. Troop of Urkai allowing him to be fierce, but unfortunately for the troop, Gandalf spots the entire Fellowship rainbow, and will be able to win his skirmishes unless he uses one of those ambitions.
Well, that'll be enough. If you start piling up, oh.
Yeah, we may yet, bring Gimli well up there. And he's damage +2. What's he damage +2 from? Oh, from his innate
From
ability.
himself, and then, yeah, his well, he's got
yeah, he wasn't carrying his own axe, so I was trying to figure it out. I forgot that he got damage +1 when he hits 3 items.
Okay, so deciding to use both ambitions, yeah, and then we have another flurry of blows in the back pocket. We've already seen a flurry of blows being played. I think it probably would have been better to save one of those ambitions for Troop of Urkai, where it's more likely that there's oh, but then it's Savagery also coming out.
Savagery to match their numbers, bringing him up to 21. Truly
another we may yet.
Here.
Okay, well, look at
goodness.
This titanic struggle. Dwarfs anything that happened in the actual movie.
Bred for battle? No. That is Lurtz taking a licking after a valiant back and forth. Leaving the Troop of Urkai even weaker than he needed to be, with Dwarven Axe bringing him down to an 8.
That was quite a number of cards on both sides being played from their hand.
It sure was. Yeah, one or maybe both of them was saving those for something big. I wonder who's disappointed that they had to waste them all and who's happy that they got them out of hand. Aragorn is fully equipped. Walking into a bunch of birds and another wizard storm.
So is that all 4 of them have gone out at some point, or has it been recycling the same one?
Yeah, the birds let you fetch them from the discard pile. I've not been paying real attention to if he's taking them from discard pile or from deck.
I think he's just been juggling the same one over and over.
One.
And in fact, that might have been why it was so important that he have that Nelia for passive Caradhras, because, I mean,
yeah, to be able to get it out the first time around.
Yeah, that's only one copy that he's been juggling this whole time.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just the one in the deck. You know, dropping potentially 5 times is a lot of spaces to try to get that stop.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't need it at Site 9, so there's only 7 possible places to play it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Atea being able to boost up here with some leftover Twilight. Flaming Brand being the only thing Aragorn's not carrying with him. Does he have a Elven card to discard? No, using Merry. That is going to be enough strength that Atea can't finish it off, but he'll be back.
Did Atea pump himself all the way up? There's still 2 Twilight left.
No, he left it. Merry gave a +3 strength, and there's only 2 Twilight for Atea to boost any further. Here he goes again, trying second time around and getting the victory. Merry going the way of his hobbit friends. Killing Aragorn, and at some point Stefan has to double if he's going to get a Fellowship victory here. You know, the Wizard Storm obviously is not something he wants to run through, but you know, Dastali, if he doesn't run all the way to 9 here, and with that Fellowship, he might be planning to.
8 guys on the table.
But, you know, even if he stops, Stefan has to risk a double at some point. I've definitely been surprised before in these games, but I don't see a shadow victory coming based on the current board state.
There's a good amount of wounds
hitting
on
the table yet again.
But, Sam has really proved to have a lot of healing potential.
Yeah, he's doing work. Sorman exerting to make troop fierce.
Yep.
Which surprises me, given that Gandalf has been able to deal with them every time. But maybe he's got something else in hand to help with
Well,
that.
it gives him pressure, though. Yeah, there might be another savagery in hand. That might be... Okay, so Saruman's going to be proving his worth here. Preventing those wounds, trying to go down. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he even bothered.
Yeah, this seems like... What am I missing that Estelle is working so hard to shoot down this captain? He can win all 3 of these skirmishes without blinking. Why is he putting the resources in?
And there's still one more, too, because Saruman can self-discard to prevent a wound as well.
Right. Yeah, because on the table, Lurtz is the only one that's not a guaranteed loss. You know, Gandalf, Aragorn, and Fror can all deal with the others. Lurtz being put against...
So here's a savagery. Alright, that's going to take Fror off the table, and now we've got a fierce captain, so now all 3 are fierce.
Yep. Boromir fighting Lurtz may be just thematic, but at the very least he should be able to absorb 2 wounds unless there's another skirmish event in Stefan's hand. Discarding Saruman to prevent the...
To prevent and also to make sure that he's not going into Site 9 with an exhausted Saruman. So now if there's a second copy...
It's true. It does let him play another one, which is potentially a real lifesaver there. They are all fierce. Looks to me like accepting skirmish events. Only Lurtz is once again a real potential problem. We've seen a lot of events this game. It won't be shocking if he has another. Yeah. Sam is really doing work to keep these guys healthy.
Yeah, especially with all those damage plus 1s going around. Every time they lose, that's going to be 2 wounds. So it takes 2 victories to clean that off. But still, 2 victories with no other resources used.
Checking his hand, sees Lieutenant, another Saruman, beyond the height of men. Not a terrible hand, but that might be enough to move against.
Beyond the height of men can't get rid of bracers, can it?
It hits nope, that's Boromir. Helms, shields, or armor. So bracers. What is bracers?
Bracers.
Just bracers. Yeah. Cannot get rid of bracers.
This is one of those things that if I was doing a complete reboot of the game, I would not have so many different kinds of things like that. I think that if I were doing it, I would say you have weapons, you have armor, and you have utility, and that's it. Those are the only 3 classes that exist, because then you don't end up with these weird situations where, oh, well, it's not armor, it's bracers. And so...
Yeah, I might prefer... what's what I'm trying to say? Propose a ring as a 4th option there.
That is a possibility. Or maybe it goes under utility, and you just say, okay, if you're wielding a ring of power, then you're not also chugging a Thelis or something. I don't know.
Right.
Wizard Storm coming out yet again.
Yeah, it's his last chance to play it.
Fell Voice is called being played with no Nazgul on the table, just to get out of hand. Doesn't even play anything. Could have potentially been used to put a Pale Crown there on the support area, but...
Yeah, I think the only...
So he's emptying his hand.
The items we've seen have been weapons for his Nazgul. Leaving 17 on the field. If that's a bluff to try to make him move, he could be about to drop a real bomb here.
Yeah, and here we go. The Wizard Storm is going to trigger. Everybody gets exerted.
It is Tolbrandir, so he'll be able to get 3 Raiders out for only 6 of those 31 points.
31 Twilight on a Nazgul deck. He could be eaten pretty well, but it all depends.
Yeah,
It all depends.
Oh. No, what a horrible final hand, he says. That is unfortunate. Nothing but a Tower Assassin and this pack of Raiders. That's a rough final draw for Dastali.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when I think he probably could have had that that double last turn.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. All that Twilight going to waste.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Ramil
to do
exerting for a point of archery, but probably a mistake. Oh, Destali's not using his responses. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he accepted.
Maybe I think maybe he just accepted. There was no line here. Even if he managed to keep all four of those, alive and well until the skirmish phase, you had a strength 13 Aragorn over here, a strength 10 Boromir. That's two of the bigger ones that are going to be taken down, and then 6 and 9 are going to take care of these two just fine. Like, it's even if people die, no one's even going to get assigned to Frodo. All right, well, an excellent win there from Stefan77. Looks like was that the last one? Nope. We have Skilled and Elfagorn.
Skilled and Elfagorn are still going. We've got Elfagorn at Site 9, facing off against the Witch King and Atea.
With once again that strikes me. Runes. Each minion is damage +1 for each wound on that minion. But no wounds on those minions.
No wounds.
Yeah, that's one
too strong Nazgul at the end there, but it doesn't look like they're gonna be enough.
Right.
Looks like Elfagorn pulls out his win as well.
Not having bow or anything is interesting. I don't know if that was done on purpose, but
and it's probably helping him right now. If he'd wounded one of them, he'd be taking some extra damage here.
There's a green leaf in the dead pile, but intentionally not using that Gondor Bowman. All right, yeah, so that's it. That's round 1.
3 people's there, but otherwise making it through.
Okay, so Elfagorn, Sithdora, Stefan77, and Mozdref all won their games. Chadwick had the bye, and then Skilled, Destali, Lucas Shore, and Rutil are on the bottom. So we shall have this next round start in just about a minute. Hopefully we don't have any atrocious assignments there at the very end like we did last time. I really don't want to have to try and juggle things. I was telling people, unfortunately, there were a couple of people that showed up just after the cutoff.
Oh no!
Wanted to join the event. Apparently, they've been having trouble picking the right deck or something, and the system wasn't letting them in. Unfortunately, the tournament system, while we have in the past attempted to sort of hotfix assignments and get people into the tournament system, this has often resulted in the entire server crashing. So it's not something that I'm willing to do after the games have begun. If I had been made aware of it beforehand, I could have possibly paused the tournament and got that figured out before any of the games had started. But once they're on, I'm not going to make everyone give up their early games just to let people in. So Lucas Shore has dropped, so it looks like we have an even number of people at the moment. We have Elfagorn going against Destali. We have Skilled versus Rutil. We have Stefan77 versus Sithdora. And we have Mozdref versus Chadwick. So which one of these do you think we ought to follow here?
Well, I'm looking at who we haven't watched play, and I don't think there's any table that has entirely new people compared to this morning, but we haven't seen Elfagorn at all, though we did just watch Destali. I think that's it. I think he's the only one we haven't watched.
I'm sorry, I was answering questions in Discord. What was the...
I think the only player we haven't seen at all yet is Elfagorn. And while I recognize that we did just watch Destali's last match, I think that is likely the next for us to keep an eye on.
Destali actually has a message for us. He says, if you're watching the stream, Mocking Ket, I got cocky and wanted to prove the shadow was good, but then I got the worst hand. Should have doubled on the fellowship. Yeah.
He and I have talked about this, where I was questioning the efficacy of that particular shadow decision with the bomb that he goes for at Site 9. I wonder if he was just trying to prove it after that call. I feel bad if I did anything that
Why?
caused
You
that.
were right, apparently.
Distali, I'll double check, but I think is also in really good shape to be in the running, kind of no matter what happens here today. Yeah, he's tied for second place with, I guess technically tied for fifth place with several others. But
How many
expect
total
him to.
people are we anticipating issuing invitations for? I forget how many slots.
Yeah, so it's going to be 16 players total. It may be more than that if we have a tie for 16th. We did say that we would consider adding more as long as it wasn't like a 12-way tie for 16th.
Yeah. Last few
there are
years,
2 invites.
we've always had way too many slots. If anyone's wondering, we started in 2023 with 64,
and only half of that got filled at all. And then last year we did 32, and even then we only barely even hit the 32. It might have just been 30 people that showed up. So we were like, okay, like it's not actually cutting down the field.
Invites last year, but I think you're right. I think there's a couple of people who didn't make it to the day of.
So Nkoya coming out with a Nazgul sword, 2 copies of Fell Voices Call being thrown out just to cycle them through the hand. That's an unfortunate reality, I think. They're obviously very useful.
Okay, not big enough to cause any real problems here, but may well be able to push a stop. Site 2 here. Eight points left in the Twilight Pool. Oh, moving again. Now you're probably going to swap out for the Fords of Bruin here.
Interesting. So then we have
let
a free
him drop
Tantea.
Whatever he wants.
Does he have a 4th Nazgul? Oh man, that would have been that would have been beauty.
Coming in with
no such luck. But with the strength of everybody on the board, those are Site 6 allies, not Site 3. This could be one Fellowship member gone. Gonna guess it's gonna be Legolas, but
a pity that those Fell Voices calls had to be used. Imagine if all 3 of
7
these
points
had
left.
Yeah.
Grabbing swords, or does anybody ever play the mount?
I have no idea. I mean, it's I think I have seen it before. I don't think it's very common, but Fell Voices Call makes it much easier to justify having those in your deck.
Yeah. It got played a decent amount back in the day during, well, I guess today would be Tower Standard because there was enough planes on the site path.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's hard to justify instead of a sword.
Yeah, especially since it doesn't have the same
restriction that the other mounts do in Fellowship Block, where
it gets discarded if underground.
Yeah, and
so
see that was such
one site where it can't be used.
I know that the reason they did that was because of the theming with Bill the Pony, that like Bill had to go away, so all the other mounts also have to go away. But like,
right,
it definitely kills the usefulness. Black Steed, that's the name of it.
Might be losing Arwen here.
Arwen's pretty rough to lose in the against the Nazgul,
especially against Nazgul. Yeah,
I feel like
Valorond is.
Well,
no, it wasn't a choice. I had said it like it was going to be, but the reality there was that unless he could win a skirmish with an event or something, Arwen was always going to die.
Yeah.
I'd looked at it being like, oh, somebody has to, but Arwen already had a wound, so it was always going to be her. Distali's got quite the fellowship going right now. We are seeing Moria for the first time in all day today.
A Moria deck that had nothing to play on Site 4.
Nothing at Site 4? Oh my goodness.
Was it a bluff? Was it hoping that you'd move to Site 5 and then he played everything? I mean, either way, got to stop, but that's, well, look at all these Fellowship cards coming down. Maybe it was just pure clog.
Yeah. Stop may well have been...
and Distali has nothing to play. All right, well, so we've got a very uneventful back and forth of the different shadows not having anything to bring to bear.
Presumably there'll at least be a Balrog if nothing else is ready to come out in hand.
Surely a Moria deck can produce a Balrog. Oh no!
If he doesn't have any
He's
regular
only got the
minions,
Flame
and
of Adun.
Yep.
And so
That's my guess too.
And Flame of Adun requires that you have a Moria Orc on the table. He's got no Moria Orcs. How do you have a 70-card deck and no Orcs?
Well, and no conditions either. What is he drawing?
What is he drawing?
Like he's not dumping a bunch of swarms and armories that may have clogged his hand. That's a wild set of turns.
So yeah, Flame of Adun was in hand, but had no. Saga of Elendil got discarded from hand. Yeah, I don't know. Is he just drawing, having absolutely terrible draw luck and drawing a whole ton of Fellowship cards? Here we go, the first Orc of the game.
Site 7.
Oh. And see, the real kicker for this is that not only has nothing gone down onto the table, but because there's nothing in the discard pile,
yeah, he can't fetch
there's
anything.
Nothing
either.
to draw. There's nothing to pull out. By this point, there ought to easily be 10 or 20 cards in the discard pile. These Goblin Domains here really choking up the deck. I wonder if there's just one too many conditions. Trying to do some fancy stuff and paid the price for it.
Yeah, he's not been playing the conditions though.
Well, yeah, those have been reconciled away, I think, because he's so they're in the discard pile. So he was clearly drawing them and realizing that, okay, like this doesn't help me if I don't have a minion, so I need to cycle for a minion. But the minions never came.
Yeah. He did stop at Site 5, though, also against nothing played against him. Dastali hasn't dropped a minion since the Fords of Bruin.
Now,
it's very odd.
That, at least, is par for the course, because Nazgul are infamous at clogging up your hand with a bunch of unique copies of cards that make it difficult to put down. Like that, and especially if you end up with the wrong combination of, oh no, I have their weapons, but I don't have the Nazgul themselves, or whatever. It's very and here's they are coming. This is something that probably would have been much preferred 5 sites ago, just so that he could cycle stuff out of his hand and nothing else. But then again, you can only play that if you have any Orc at all in your discard pile.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for you if you don't have anything there. But starting to get a little bit of draw going. Scavengers with the one scimitar that I think we've seen come through.
Elfagorn's Fellowship is just about given up, I think. All the way back here on side 5, there's no way he's going to catch up. He has to do damage with the Shadow side, and I'm not sure. He's only got 1 card in hand. He just doesn't have enough to do anything.
Oh, drew a troll.
That's certainly not a bad thing to throw out, but this is the sort of thing that you'd expect on site 4, not on site 8.
Right. Yeah, this is definitely a rough one for Elfagorn here. Hand clog, something went terribly wrong. Oh, flurry of blows from Gimli. Is he going to be able to take out the troll? We may yet.
There he goes. Damage +2.
Yeah, healed back up. I like that we may yet plus Bagshot Row combination. That's flowing really cleanly.
I think that's the second time, actually, that Gimli has shoulder checked the troll out the door.
Yep, Frore losing a skirmish. Starting to stack up the goblin swarms just
Starting
in time
to
be
on
able to
site
use
8.
it once.
Yeah. So at this point, you clearly just throw everything you can on the table. You don't hold anything back on your Fellowship side because you want to get rid of all the cards and just get them, because he needs a perfect Shadow hand. Now, he's got some of the tools he needs. He has an armory. He has a single scavenger on the swarm. He has They Are Coming. It is possible to pull off an absolutely bonkers swarm with this, but it's going to require a miracle.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot in his discard pile to be working with here.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got 3 scimitars, so if he can draw really well and get some more scavengers
and scimitars
out.
are definitely the big one. Like, you definitely need those. There's a cave troll here. There's Well, Ancient Chieftain probably isn't going to be doing all that much. But it's going to require a blessed hand.
Yeah. I would guess, definitely don't know, but he may well be running, is it Tolbardier? And he doesn't have any trackers in his discard pile.
Yeah, that's a good... So, now, I don't really recognize Elfagorn, so I don't know if they've been around, because it was definitely Basmelis, I think, that innovated on using Tolbrandir with Moria and just having those throwaway trackers. It's quite possible that Elfagorn is aware of that innovation, but maybe not. If not, I think that I think it's more common for Moria to use the draw 1 card per burden, and drawing 4 additional cards could help. Help the swarm get going. So I guess we'll see here. But yeah, Tolbrandir would be an absolutely gutting. Like, that would not help at all.
Yeah, and KO would go a long way here.
Oh no! Kick him while he's down, why don't you? Oh no! This has got to be one of the worst Moria options.
Yeah.
There's hardly
Unless he's running just a ton of flankers or something that we haven't seen. I mean, there's a patrol troop.
There's a patrol troop, like that's... But he's exhausting him to get more cards.
Keep him coming.
Get those runners out for more Twilight. Replace the They Are Coming.
Yeah.
He's got 2 uses of it, but if that's 6 cards in his hand that weren't worth using, get those scimitars out.
Yeah, it's going to give him 2 of those points back in a card draw.
Another runner.
That's certainly what it looks like it should be doing, but it's so late in the game with such a large fellowship on the other side. And Sam's got a frying pan. Really hard to think here that...
Yeah, this is not the Site 9 for this. This is just...
Yeah, an extra 4 cards could have gone a long way. 3 free trackers, or not free, but...
I mean, he would have had 0 trackers in this game, but... But in theory, yes. Basmelis has definitely demonstrated in the past why it's such a powerful synergistic combo with Moria. But no, these are not enough, I think.
Yeah, definitely too little, too late.
If this had been Site 5, I think this would have been a very respectable showing, but this is the deck not coming together.
Yeah.
Like some of the worst draw luck, I think. Getting so much junk.
Nothing played at Site 4 or 5 for a Moria deck is...
Yeah, that's devastating.
That's just got to feel brutal. Yeah, playing through the skirmish here, but Frodo's not even assigned. There's no danger happening.
Yeah, throwing away Sam. No, never mind. Sam's
frying pan.
Got a frying pan.
Heal himself right back up.
Oh man, yeah. Backshot Row I think has been slept on. Like, look at all these neat little interactions that basically turn an exert into no cost.
Yeah, there it goes.
All right, terrible luck for Elfagorn, but the Stali manages to take advantage of that. Move on to the win. Let's see who we got here.
All of our other games are still going.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick march to the end. Dead Man Walking, perhaps.
We've got Skilled and Rutil only at Site 5. The other 2 games only at Site 6. I suppose that's what happens when nothing is played for Sites 4 and 5.
Pretty quick to go through your turn when you have nothing to assign. Yeah. So let's take a look at Skilled and Rutil, shall we? Rutil, I think, has not had much screen time. So Skilled, I believe,
having a little bit of a hard day here. He's a good player, but
yeah,
today has not seemed to be going well for him in the first event. Maybe this one's different. We've got the Twilight Witch King, Pale Crown on the field, and plenty of Twilight to use it.
And helpless on the table, that Sam.
Well, that's the last time Sam's going to remove a burden.
Not just that, but it's also going to make sure that his responsibility, which is also a special ability, is unable to be used.
So that's going to lock him out of being able to replace Frodo as the ring bearer.
Yep. Yeah, Gandalf and Aragorn, so Sleep Hydrus or Athelas could help out a lot there, but he'll be locked until one of those is played.
This particular tournament, I think. It's been a while since I've
seen it. I don't know if I have either. That seems an odd one to rotate out. It's been so popular for so long.
I imagine that there actually aren't all that many attachable cards. Oh, didn't use it. Huh.
Yeah, it's maneuver now.
I feel like you want to get that...
exert. Oh, yeah, Aragorn's bow on the table. Maybe he was worried if he exerted, he'd get shot down.
Which, I suppose, but then that's 3 wounds on Aragorn on Site 5. That's not the worst thing to... But then again, I guess now the Witch King is still on the table, and so if he moves to Site 6, then he can do it next round when he knows he's going to die anyway to the bow.
Yeah, Sam also only has 1 burden to peel off at the moment. So it could just be that he's not got a lot of use for those exertions just yet.
Against a Twilight Nazgul, I think that it's not the burden count that matters nearly so much as the vitality and the being able to...
I'm sorry, you broke up. What was that?
I think against the Twilight Nazgul, it's not so much the burden count that matters so much. Really more just the ability to swap him out if he ends up dying. But either way,
no, that's
both of those are definitely good reasons to slap a helpless on him, though. So because his opponent is really deliberating over the move, probably for that same reason. The Witch King is gonna slap that helpless on him, but then, Pale Crown's also available. So if there's another Nazgul on the table, and with 17 Twilight,
his Terrible Servants makes him
he's invincible now.
So long as there is Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skilled commenting on
There's
that
gotta be more than that, though. Don't let 15 Twilight go to waste. He doesn't have 15 shots of his bow.
I'd say I would go a long way right here.
Let's see another Twilight. Inquea.
Oh, Skulker.
Skulker's good for the future, I suppose. Get some of that stuff cycled back in.
Yeah, get the most important things back.
I imagine that the pause here is because, while 15 Twilight is a lot, it's not, like, bottomless or anything. So it probably is doing some math, trying to figure out what the best approach to take is.
Well, and got to think he's paying attention to how many does he have to hold on to for his Terrible Servants and possibly the Pale Crown. Yeah, there's 3 potential bow shots. All right, grabbed himself back another 2 more Witch Kings. No,
1 Fell Voice's Call and 1 Witch King. Yeah.
The way that gets logged as 2 things.
Nothing else played, so we're straight on to the maneuver phase. Helpless being put on Sam now that it's impossible to hit him with the bow, and then we're probably going to see the Pale Crown go onto him just so that he has that +1 vitality to take advantage of this inevitable skirmish win that he's going to get here.
Right, and that +1 vitality is going to be really big here for the Isildur's Bane. Frodo has to put it on.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be 4 burdens, bringing him right up to that 5 burden total.
Sweet spot for whichever NK you're using.
Yep. Already got 1 Twilight NK in the discard pile. But one of the interesting things about Nkea is that he's probably the Nazgul that is most susceptible to opportunity cost. There's so many good versions of Nkea that you really have to pick and choose which one it is that you're including. And so you can have a hard time deciding. Even in a Twilight deck, do I want just the Twilight version or do I want to include both?
Yeah, I struggle with that a lot. I love Twilight Nazgul, and that's always a hard choice. Putting on the 1 ring, adding 4 burdens. It's putting Ratil in a pretty good spot. he's out of Sanctuary, and it's still a pretty solid Super Friends kicking up there. But I think Ratil's got to be feeling pretty good about getting the 5 Burden Mark and Helpless on Sam.
I'm sure that he's holding out. I think Skilled is holding out for a Sleep Caradress because that Helpless is going to be devastating.
Yep. Till is, however, quite a bit behind on his Fellowship side, and while I think his Shadow is doing quite well, I don't think it's a in the bag situation.
Pipe deck on Ratil's side.
Yep. Gaffer's Pipe on Frodo, not worrying about Frodo's Pipe and its ability to mass heal a single target, not doing almost anything with... Well, it's interesting. He's using Son of Drogo, so maybe he does have a Frodo's Pipe in there and just doesn't have another Hobbit to give the Gaffer's Pipe to right now.
Teal's definitely lagging behind.
Yeah, even a double here doesn't necessarily catch him up enough, but...
And it's a pretty risky double, too, because he's got no anti-Balrog stuff on the table.
Yeah.
No armor, no staff, no nothing.
Frodo could survive him once with a double exert on Boromir, and then...
Ouch.
Maybe Boromir goes from there.
Utilizing All Blades Perish on a completely healed Enquea just to get it out of the hand. Not a situation where it's like, hey, I'm going to use this to surprise you, make you waste your resources.
Just needs to cycle it.
Just needs to cycle it.
Laying down a couple of wounds, but nothing significant.
Yeah,
I mean, Balrog would be problematic for sure, so would 2 more Nazgul. Witch King Tildea could be...
And there's still 6 in Twilight in the pool. Yeah, this is a risky move. But at the same time, it's kind of the only way that Ratil has any chance of winning with the Fellowship. He's got to double move now, and then double move past the Sanctuary, and somehow stop Skilled. Yeah, honestly, I think
the things are looking pretty poor for Ratil here.
No, he's accepted the Reconcile. It's gonna stay, which means Ratil is only playing Shadow from this point out.
Which I think makes sense. He's got a lot more Shadow momentum than he does Fellowship momentum.
Yep. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things that's hard. I feel like once you've given up on one side, you've just said, no, I cannot win with my Fellowship. It doesn't mean that you're not going to win with the Shadow, but you don't have the same pressure.
Yeah.
Skilled has no reason to start doubling. And the more he can spend time recovering from what the Witch King's doing, the longer he can wait for Sleep Caradress. Not having that pressure to potentially need to do a double is unfortunate, I think. Thinking
now we
real
do have
hard
Narya
about
on the
his
table,
heals.
So 3 Twilight is almost certainly going to be added to remove one of those burdens, taking them out of the Enquea threshold.
Yep. Yeah, healing Frodo right up.
So he is planning to stick with Frodo for a little bit longer.
Yeah, he knows he doesn't have the deck, or at least the setup, to deal with the Witch King.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to keep playing on a Silver's Bane. There's the sleep.
Getting rid of both his Turbo Servants and that...
Don't know that Frying Pan's going to do a whole lot, but may as well play it, get it out of hand. It's free on the Relentless Adventurer. Armor for Aragorn. I don't know that we've seen a Pale Blade or a Nazgul Sword from Ratil, but they might be in there.
I haven't seen Pale Blade, but you could see the, what's the one Twilight Nazgul that's damage +1 and fierce?
Oh, Nelia.
Nelia, yeah. Skipping the archery phase at Anduin Wilderland. No archery stuff on Arwen, but of course we've got the bow on...
Yeah, that's potentially big for Ratil. He lost his terrible servants, so being able to know that whatever he puts down can't get shot.
Can't get shot this round anyway. Gotta be aware of it. Coming back to play on side 8. Another long pause. 18, once again, not bottomless. Nazgul are expensive.
18's enough for 3 if it's the right 3, but only 2 if you don't have the right set of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Frodo unwounded as well, maybe considering whether or not playing the Ringwraith and Twilight is a good call at the moment. You know, they'd be
So-
strength 13s if he was exhausted. But,
I hadn't realized that he had used Sam's ability as well. Must have exerted Gandalf and Sam to take out another burden, peel that off, and get him down to 3.
Oh yeah, I had missed that as well.
Now, it does exhaust Sam. I feel like there's... I don't know what they would do to take advantage of that, but that also means that he's never going to survive any sort of skirmish. Not that you want him to be skirmishing against anything this big, but...
Yeah, I mean, strength 3, he was never going to survive a skirmish against the Nazgul. Not unless Boromir hits the table or something like that.
Right. Might have survived against a Skulker or something, but...
That's true.
Uh-oh.
Voice of Skull, probably grabbing Pale Crown. Got to keep in mind the 1 Twilight for that could be used.
I feel like that's not a good sign, though, if he's playing that first with nothing else played. I feel like if I'm trying to not screw up, I want to make sure that the important pieces are on the table first. And while Pale Crown might be important, I feel like they should...
Yeah, this is a long pause for not having anything worthwhile, though, unless he's really trying to fake him out. You know,
Could
is
be a
he
fake out.
going-
It could also, just be distraction or something. Could also just legitimately be a difficult set of math. I don't know. Let's see. So the Witch King is 8. And Quaya is 6.
I'd say is 4. You can't play all 3. That would be the ideal play, right? You know, those 3 together. But he's 1
Right.
Twilight short.
So he's used up 1 already down here. And I have been in situations where it is this harrowing, trying to figure out which one do I play, like which avenue do I go down. Because it seems to me that you probably don't play both Witch King and Inquia. I bet you just play one of those and then try to play support. So like for instance an Otsia to make them fierce, or just something else to help try and take advantage of the fellowship, because there's 2 11 strength guys on the table, but if you can start to try and thin
only
that
got
down.
1 Witch King left in the deck. There's 3 in his discard pile, and we saw him shuffle 1 in. Only 1 on Kea in the discard pile. No Otseyas. He also played Twilight Tea. That's the second one we've seen today. Surprised by that.
Wait a minute. Is Ratil the one that does the return to its master pin on Site 9? There's someone that has a very particular build where they almost don't care what they're doing down most of the site path, and they're just trying to get to the very end with a return to its master, a pale crown, and and helpless in play. So that if they have those 3 things, Sam can't catch the ring. Pale Crown makes sure that the ring itself doesn't even give you anything in strength, and then return to its master ensures that you have been
how do you guarantee they put on the 1 ring?
So here we go. We have Inquia coming out. Resistance becomes unbearable. 2 copies of Resistance becomes unbearable.
Interesting that he's exerting Nkea and not Otseya for them.
Resistance becomes unbearable. Requires a Twilight Nazgul to be exerted. So
it does. Okay. Not interesting. I just don't know the card very well.
Now this does put him easily within bow range.
No archery phase.
Ah, that's right. No archery phase. You're totally right.
They're at the Wilderlands.
Does have a brand.
But Nkea is not in great shape. You know, he'll have to put on the crown to win against Aragorn, because the Flaming Brand will, or Arwen for that matter. Arwen's going to be a 12. Yeah, he has to put the crown on if he's going to win those skirmishes.
And not even get much of anything out of it. Like,
I mean, 2 wounds on Frodo for the.
Well, yeah, the victory, but I mean, the actual win against Arwen isn't going to earn him much. Like, yeah, you beat her, so what? You put 1 wound on Arwen.
Yeah, definitely not a big deal. He is fierce, so he'll be able to do it twice unless there's a boost here. Oh, that's not going to do anything.
Don't do it.
Skilled. Unless you're just cycling cards.
Yeah, just cycle.
Pale Crown's going to stop that bonus. It comes from the card.
Do not
Yep.
receive strength or damage bonuses from cards they bear. So.
So I'm going to do that all again. The Pale Crown does give enough endurance here, or vitality here, to exhausting Arwen instead of putting a wound on Aragorn or Gandalf.
Still only getting 1 per, because they did manage to peel some of those burdens off.
Yep. Yeah, if there were still 5 burdens out there, that would have been a strong play.
Yeah. I can see why he agonized over it. We didn't even see what else was in his hand, but...
Yeah. I don't know what the other option was, but that one certainly seemed to work out fairly well.
I think the one downside is that it did require him to utilize the Pale Crown to get anywhere with it. And so that's not going to be there for the Sight 9 if the idea is to do the Return to its Master pin.
Yeah, that is the only Pale Crown in his discard pile, so one would guess he's running more than a single one.
Possibly. On the other hand, he's got all those Fell Voices, yeah, so...
Yeah. There's one of each in the discard. So unless... I don't know why you would build a Twilight deck that uses only one of both. That seems very limited.
Teal's down to only 6 cards in deck.
We do know he cycled the Fell Voices call earlier, though it could have been the same one, I suppose.
That's actually the one that he used earlier to pull the Pale Crown out of his deck and put it in play.
Right. Well, yeah, he had a Skulker.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
2 ago. Gotcha. I definitely can't say that it wasn't the same Fell Voices call that got shuffled around, but unless you're playing a card that has a bunch of different image versions and have opted to use different ones, there's not a lot of way to tell those. Skill dropping a couple in Nazgul here, but again, this isn't the side of this game that's going to make a big difference. Even if he pulled off something amazing and got a few kills, it's not going to change the final outcome here. Long pause at the maneuver phase, though. I don't see any maneuver abilities on the table.
There's Threrin, but...
Oh, okay.
Now is probably not the time to use that.
It doesn't seem terribly helpful.
Especially when pretty much all you're doing is deciding where to put your 4 wounds. You probably just do Aragorn and Gandalf. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Aragorn and Legolas. It again, doesn't really matter. Everyone knows that this side doesn't have a chance to make it to the end.
I'm worried Rutil might be Fellowship logged. I'm looking at his discard pile, and he's got a lot of card draw in here. But 3 Old Tobies, no pipes. We've only got...
See, I don't think that this is a pipe deck so much. I think that the point of those Old Tobies is to draw a card.
Is to draw.
Yeah, and because if the whole point is that he gets the exact cards that he needs for the Return to his Master pin, then he doesn't care about the others. So he's just
that's fair. He does have a ton of card draw in his discard pile. 4 copies of Two Eyes as often as I can spare them. 2 copies of Mithril Shaft.
And he just had to reconcile 3 cards down because he had drawn 11 or something.
4 copies of Mithril Shaft. Yeah, he might be looking for that perfect.
Oh, here we go. So now we can see what exactly is in his hand. He's got a Ringwraith and Twilight. Resistance becomes unbearable.
Which will let the ring get put on.
He does have another copy of Helpless. He's got a Pale Blade. He's got a Return to his Master. Morgul Gates. Beauty is Fading, and the Witch King.
He doesn't have Ringwraith and Twilight. Ringwraith and Twilight's the only Nazgul he can play if he's going to try for that. Now, he might not be trying for it at Site 7. He might be...
Oh, no. He's definitely going to wait until the last minute, I think. He's got to have the right... He's got to have it all together just right. And you need to have... Yeah, it's not... I've seen it work a few times.
Yeah, because the Witch King stops that from working. Witch King won't let you play Return to its Master. Which means if that is what he's going for, he needs to be very careful about dropping the Witch King at site 8. If Skilled might be onto it at all. Yeah, Skilled is definitely trying to figure out what he's doing. Yeah, letting him draw a card.
Just once again, trying to get more cards in hand so he can filter down. He's definitely trying to set up that very particular bomb.
Yeah, I think he needs a his Terrible Serpents to be able to pull it off. Aragorn's at full health. Yeah, drop the Witch King here. Pale Blade probably exert him to use Return to its Master. Get rid of the bow? Not Return to its Master, sorry, Beauty is Fading. To get rid of the bow.
Has he decided that he's got enough Twilight to set it off? He does not have any more slack in his deck.
No, but he can't set it off with Witch King. Yeah, going for Helpless. Yeah.
So is this just setup then? He's just hoping that his opponent is going to double?
I think he's praying his opponent doesn't double.
I mean, I
So
think
Witch
he
King's gonna
wants
win a
the double.
skirmish.
If
Witch King can't be on the table to play Return to its Master. If he's trying to use Return to its Master to get somebody on Frodo, Witch King has to be discarded.
Right.
It's the only card in the game that I'm aware of that specifically calls out another one. But
Right. I get what you're saying now. It's like, what are you talking about? There's 2 Twilight Nazgul Assails, but no, that's
yeah, it's not that he can't be assigned by it. It's that he can't be used. He can't be out while it happens. I guess he makes it too easy to trigger. But I mean, he'll add. Well, he'll probably add 4 burdens if Skilled was paying attention to the cards in hand. I have the advantage of not needing to worry about the rest of the game to think on here, but if you're not already exhausted, Resistance Becomes Unbearable does not force you to put on the 1 ring.
Rutil is down to 12 seconds left on his chess clock.
Oh, geez.
He has spent a long time deliberating. He needs to be clicking fast.
Yep.
And he is.
Yep.
He's got 1 second's worth of leeway on each decision.
Skilled put the ring on too late, I think. But if he doubles here, it doesn't matter. If he runs with the Witch King out, now he could still lose. You know, a Pale Crown and an Utsayed to make him fierce could cause him to just be able to body the Fellowship until Frodo gets corrupted. But he doesn't have the same. He doesn't have the combo ability you're talking about.
Right.
If the double happens. Rutil, however, has no cards in deck, and as you've mentioned, only 12 seconds left on the clock. Nope, but he is running. I think Skilled knows what's going on. Rutil got to play as fast as he can. Ring goes on. Whew. 4 seconds.
He's got to have his mouse hovered over that pause button or pass button. Just spam it every time.
Yeah, but no vitality on the Witch King. I think Skilled is fine here.
Yep. just giving him more things to pass. Just poke at him and be like, "Hey, you gonna run out of time here, buddy?" Okay, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Manages to thread the needle, do exactly what he needs to do to make sure that Ratil does not pull off the pin.
Yeah, that was well played. Oh man, 4 seconds left, and it didn't end because of time.
Yeah, exactly. He managed to keep it going. Okay, all right. So we have Sith Dora and Chadwick both having gone undefeated so far. We have Mozdrev, Stefan, Distali, Alphagorn, and Skilled each sitting at 1-1, and then Ratil and Lucashore at the bottom of the races here. So we'll have the next round starting up here in just a moment. Do we have anyone else that's going to drop out? If not, we'll still have.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, if no one's dropped out yet, they're probably going to keep going. So we'll still end up with more people. Got an even number of people, so.
I'm going to grab a quick something to drink while we're waiting for this next round to start up.
Sounds good.
I'll be back momentarily.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I think it makes the most sense for us to take a look at that undefeated game between Sith Dora and Chadwick. Chadwick gets a lot of screen time on these.
But he's played, I think, almost every single event. He's definitely put in the work, I think, to make sure that he's staying abreast of the competition.
Okay. So Chadwick bid 3 to Sith Dora's 1, so Chadwick chooses to go first, of course. I think it's going to be his Gimli and Frore opening.
With same deck as last time?
Yeah, with the Prancing Pony. Sith Dora coming out with a Hobbit opening.
That's different than he was running earlier today. But maybe... No, that's just quite a bit different than earlier today, I think.
I don't remember which deck it was that he was running.
So I think, if I remember correctly, he started Sam and Arwen, and then fetched Pippin with Farmer Maggot's Field.
Okay, so he's got different game plans depending on... Yeah.
Well, he's starting Mary, who he's going to exert to grab a Hobbit Farmer, who will exert to replace Prancing Pony with... No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you? You've already
because you've already got Pippin out. Yeah, so there's...
Yeah, so just different game plan for whether or not he goes first, I suppose.
Sith Dora throwing down a Moria archery troop. So do we have ourselves with a Moria archer deck? That's
maybe. Goblin Swarms doesn't usually go with Moria archery, though it could pay off this early in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that 8 strength is going to get him a win against any of these people, minus any events that get played. And as far as archery is concerned...
They're at Buckleberry Ferry. I bet this is just a fully different deck. Just happens to be the same Sam and Pippin. But there will be no skirmishes for Sith Dora here. I'm betting this
3 exertions to prevent him from going on to the Goblin Swarms. Honestly, that might be a better result than anything else he might have hoped for. Look at the state of this fellowship. There's only 5 spare vitality right now.
Only at Site 2. This is one of those games where you're going to get to Site 3 and you're not clearing everything.
Yeah, Chadwick, I think, wisely decides to not move on, but this could...
all you would need is like a couple of Moria Bowmen out. A couple of the cheap guys, and you could really make this start to hurt.
Hey, I don't think I've seen Griffo played during a competitive match. Each time you play a Shire ally, you may add 1 to draw a card, and we've got ourselves with Horticulturist, who is able to pull him, I think. That's a
Horticulturist
neat
can pull
move.
them. Yeah, he dropped 2. I'm not sure which one he tutored, but tutored 1 and had the other 2 in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Promise hitting the table. With Pippin out, they've got a little bit of leeway in the slower setup for a all Hobbit promise-based deck. But
So
Tower
we do have
Assassin
Tower
hitting the
Assassin
table
coming
right
out.
away.
Who's he going to take out? Griffo or the party guest? Nope, going for Filbert
Filbert.
Bolger. Suppose that makes sense. If there's any sort of fierce stuff going on, you don't want that guy to come out and ruin your day. On the other hand, I think I would have definitely been. I definitely would have been tempted to go after Griffo here to stop that card draw.
Oh yeah, I was thinking I would have gone after the party guest.
Yeah, party guest is definitely a versatile piece of kit. However, there's going to be 4 others, so even if you kill one of them, there's going to be 3 more that are going to pop up at some point.
Yeah, assuming it is a hospital deck, though, the fewer heals you can have every turn, the sooner you can reduce those heals, the more it'll pay off over time.
True.
That is, of course, assuming it's a hospital. It might not be.
So regular old runner coming out, no archery to be seen, unfortunately. And so this is
even
just
with a scimitar, can't compete with the dwarf.
So can't quite take advantage of all of those wounds that are down, but that's okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's going to be a total net gain of 4 wounds.
Yeah, you got to think that even if you didn't get anything worthwhile there at Site 3, other than a little bit of setup, he produced the Site 3 stop at Site 2.
Now, granted, that really kind of was Chadwick doing that to himself, though, with the frying pan. It's probably a welcome result, but we'll see if it pays off.
There's Bilbo.
Bilbo getting pulled down by Mary. Got a bounder coming down. We have Griffo just providing all sorts of value. Meliot here is able to make sure the burdens don't get played. Or burdens
sorting with wizards and Elbreth Githno. I don't believe Chadwick is likely to have much in the way of Nazgul in that deck, but the static +1 is always well appreciated in a full Hobbit deck.
Yeah.
That much further from a potential overwhelm. He's almost strong enough to beat a assassin on his own. Almost.
Once these promises start coming out, might see them both get built up pretty well. Did we see Sam hasn't been utilized yet?
No, I'm surprised. I would have expected at least Sting to get pulled by now.
Yeah. You want to get those exertions down before Site 3 so you can heal them off. Saruman's power nuking everything off the board. That's
going to be a real problem here. That Raider is fierce, damage +1, and a strength 9.
Oh dear.
There's a bounder in play, but this,
well, and we do have Pippin. He's not going to grant strength +1 because we don't have enough Frodo signets on the table, but
yeah, that's a thing you have to gamble on. If you go with old Bilbo's Heir, you're losing out on the +1 from Pippin in this deck. But the extra healing,
So Berserker has to go against Frodo, I think. And then you use either Bounder or Pippin to keep him from being overwhelmed. And you hope and pray that Chadwick doesn't have a Savagery in his hand. And then...
Well, but Berserker or Raider, these will both overwhelm everybody.
I know, yeah, but like...
Except for Frodo.
Yeah. However, you do have... Well, 3 is still tripled, yeah. There's no... You need an event of some sort if you're going to keep them alive.
Now, it's a Hobbit deck. There could be plenty of stealths here.
Yeah, that's true. He's taken an awful long time, though, to assign them if he does have stealths. So I imagine...
That's true.
One Savagery could completely ruin his day.
Uh-huh.
You got it?
Nope. And then is Pippin just being sacrificed here? Because he's...
Yeah. I'm surprised. Well, no, never mind. Because he's exactly triple.
there's just no so you got to use the bounder to keep Frodo alive.
And Frodo can keep that bounder going.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Not anymore.
Okay, I was gonna say, wait, that didn't interrupt the ability, did it? No, the ability still goes through, but now the bounder's off the table, which hurts because Frodo could have kept him alive. Hobbit party guest could have kept him alive. Or no, bounder's site 1, right?
Bounder's a site 2 ally.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Then it would
he cannot be kept up by the Hobbit party guest.
But it is a moot point because he's dead anyway.
He can sometimes, much to your appreciation, die to save the Witch King at site 2, though.
Very good use of him.
Yeah, Sithora not having pulled Sting or a Hobbit Sword or anything would have been a very different turn if they had.
If you've got these advantages, you need to lean into them. Yeah, it would have added a little bit of Twilight, but that would have made all the difference if there was a Hobbit Sword or even a Frying Pan wouldn't have made that much difference because neither of them were orcs. But +2 strength from a Hobbit Sword would have made all the difference.
+1 strength on anybody but Pippin.
+1. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, +1 would have worked too. Chadwick, though, building up steam, coming in hot with an enormous fellowship.
Yeah, Chadwick's moving strong on both sides of the board here.
It's his game to lose at this point.
First Archer is cheaper. Not often you see the Great Chasm used for more than its 4 Twilight, but this is a big site for Moria if he's got a hand for it. And he's got They Are Coming, so we know we can get at least one other Moria Archer troop out. It's taking a minute to think, so maybe there's quite a bit of options, and he's got to figure out the right combination here.
They Are Coming always makes you have to sit down and wonder, do I want to play this goblin or do I want to use it as fodder to try and play another specific goblin?
Yeah, They Are Coming is such a strong card that I have such a hard time utilizing well for exactly that reason. Like, I put these cards in this deck because I want to play them. I don't want to discard anything. Yeah, the Scout is free. Or effectively free with Legolas on the table. I gotta think he's got a Cave Troll or something here, because he's going slow to make sure he's tracking his Twilight. If there's so much of it for these little guys, I think they'd be an easy drop.
Still deliberating.
Yeah, sometimes I really wish we could see their hands. Like, obviously we wouldn't want to be able to stream with that ability. It's bad enough that somebody could potentially sneak in. But, just to know what are the options we're thinking over here.
Yeah.
Or are you distracted by a kid who just walked in to come ask you a question and we're just way overthinking what's happening?
That would... Okay, yeah. I can definitely see
okay.
why you'd have to be counting all your pennies to make sure that everything lines up just right.
Yep. Can't kill Gimli because of the bracers. But...
Can kill...
Could take out Frore and
Greenleaf?
Sam.
Could take out... Yeah, I'm wondering if it's better to go for Frore and Sam or to go for Greenleaf. Because Greenleaf is going to snipe someone. There's no armories on the table just yet. Sam's a goner with this setup anyway.
That's true.
No. Okay.
Okay.
So actually, I don't hate that. So Gandalf is one of the 2 strongest players here, and he's going to make sure that putting him against either Inquea or the Cave Troll gets him killed. Except now that he's done this, Greenleaf is of course going to pick him off.
Right.
Not to.
I mean, exhausting Gandalf also prevents the Sleep Hadris until he's healed.
That's true. Make sure that he doesn't have access to any of those tricks.
Not what I was expecting, but not convinced that it was a bad play either.
Right.
That cave troll is going to cause some problems with Gandalf exhausted. Gimli and Aragorn can both survive it, but unless he's sitting on some substantial boost, he
Both
doesn't
Sam
have
and
two hand
Fror are dead,
weapons
I
for
think.
the
He already
flurry of
put an
blows.
arrow on Fror, so I think Fror is being offered up as a sacrifice. Gimli
That
takes out
seems
True.
reasonable.
Interesting. You didn't put the wound on the cave troll.
Yeah. I mean, there are just enough strength 6 or higher that maybe. Yeah.
Well, regardless, the Moria
Hobbits
Archer
didn't
Troop
need to be
definitely goes on
assigned.
Gimli. Cave Troll goes on Fror or Sam. And then.
Yep.
Yeah, the other ones. Scavengers against Gandalf, that makes sense.
Yeah, and Frying Pan to take out the scout.
Yes, there we go. It's a wound either way, but you get him off the table and he does not go into Goblin Swarms.
Right, yeah, and not going on the swarms. It's big there.
And here's Sam
Yep.
going out with a bang. No longer at the 6 companion limit, so Nkwe is not going to be a problem on future turns. We have an exhausted Greenleaf and an exhausted Gandalf. That's not the worst thing. Not the worst thing at
It's
all.
not a bad position to be in. Yeah, healing up Frodo. This fellowship, unless it's got more than hobbits in it, feels like it's in bad shape. Pippin was the support character here. Everybody else is just fetching. And one of them's not even doing that. But
Yeah, if he's not going to take advantage of Sam's ability, you have to question why use this Sam.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like an odd choice. Farmer Maggot out will keep Merry healed up as he
double dipping.
To pull people through.
So using Frodo's bedroom, the ability play a Hobbit to draw a card. So he did that with Farmer Maggot and Griffo-Boffin, then triggered. Then used Merry to pull Lucy Cotton, and
which pulls into hand. It's not play,
right?
So then gets to use Frodo's bedroom again. Yeah, build pony and healing Merry. Hey, there's a Hobbit sword. Yeah, why isn't he using Faithful Companion? It sure seems like a miss. Because he could go ahead and grab Sting or a second sword right now and have Frodo and Sam both be at least reasonably survivable.
Interesting.
Yeah, that allows you to play from deck, not into hand. He's already hit his 4, but playing directly gets around that. And Bounder is going to be important now that Pippin's gone.
Yeah, yeah. Build the pony. Still not using Sam. I'm kind of.
I didn't catch the totals there. Does Build the Pony trigger before he discards?
He is supposed to. Whether or not he does, that is a possible. It is possible that he's not working properly on Gimp, but that is actually something they had to issue a ruling over. Captain pulling out another raider.
Yeah, makes that Bounder a little less versatile.
Just a wisp of cloud. Ooh.
What do you pull? Nothing? Play Saruman from your draw deck or discard pile. Didn't have enough Twilight. Oh no, Twilight cost is -1 free. There's no crows. Yep, not enough Twilight.
Ah, yes.
I don't know if that was just a cycle, or if it was a mistake, or if he thought Ambition would somehow discount it in some way. Oof. Okay, stealth saving Sam. That raider is fierce, though.
His strength 5 with that. Well, there's savagery. Bounder can keep him alive, but Raider will eat him alive. Turning those bounders into single use onlys. Another savagery. And a Saruman's Ambition. Ooh, yeah, that's not great. This Sam
It's a rough
wasn't.
shape for the hobbits.
Yeah, Sam, I feel like is not actually providing hardly any value in this deck.
I mean, if you're not going to use his ability.
Now, granted, he was providing the +1 strength from a promise, but now it's not even that. Yeah, things are looking pretty poor here for Sith Dora.
Yeah. Chadwick moving into 5. One assumes there's a Belrog.
Well, one can hope.
We've seen that not come through before. Another deliberation. There might be a couple of different options. He's trying to figure out what makes the most sense.
So if there's 11 Twilight, the Flame of Adun is going to cost you 8, 9, 10, 11. So that leaves only 3. Host of Thousands being used to bump that up to 12. Relics of Moria coming out. Potentially, well, I don't know that it would make sense Twilight-wise if you're trying to save Twilight, but
using it.
Scimitar comes out. Scimitar being a weapon triggers Goblin Armory, which adds 1 Twilight, which in this case
It allows him to draw a card.
Yeah, drawing a card is the big reason to do it, but in this case also partially refunds the cost there. It's 10 Twilight left.
If you're fully set up, 3 or 4 armories make that a different calculation. Yeah, whenever we have these long pauses, I am so curious what is being worked on.
I think it's really just a matter of trying to decide if playing Balrog and maybe one more orc is worth it, or if he should dump like 4 orcs.
Yep.
Goblin Bowman, a promise, and Goblin Patrol Troop all thrown out. So yeah, he's definitely had to consider if he wants to try and play Goblin Patrol Troop or what he wants to do. So this gets him back down to 10 Twilight plus 1 Goblin. So now he's got the same decision again.
In his discard pile, because the Flame of Undun would let him pull things back, but there's just not a whole lot in there.
He just put a Bowman in there. How much is the
Scimitar?
Bowman?
2.
Yeah. Flame of Adun.
I was checking to see if he had any more runners or something that he could use the Belrog to start recouping some Twilight, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, that's probably what he was doing, was scraping the bottom of that barrel, trying to get things figured out.
Yeah. Now, this is still not a bad game state here. The Belrog damage +1 in Fierce, no armor, no Gimli's Helm, no Gandalf Staff. Hobbit Stealth could miss out, but otherwise, he's probably putting down some serious wounds here. Only Gandalf can survive an Overwhelm, or Gimli.
Well, Gandalf has no
from
vitality,
the wounds. Right, yeah.
So I think what we got is that, Gandalf, I was about to say this, Balrog eats Greenleaf because he's dead anyway. We've got the other two easily handle the orcs. He's really just doing that flurry of blows to get it out of hand. He didn't need it at all to turn that Moria Scout into a fine mist. And then afterwards, he's got to decide, does he sacrifice Gandalf, which is a pretty difficult choice to make, or does he throw it on Gimli and have him take the 2 wounds, or perhaps 1 wound, depending. Or does he sacrifice Aragorn? I don't think he sacrifices Aragorn, so...
No, Ranger of the North against Moria. At some point, he's going to go wild and take
Yeah.
on the 4 biggest things. Yeah, Gimli was the choice. 2 wounds there. Not moving again.
Definitely making progress. There's 2 more companions that could be played on the table at some point. Interestingly, didn't do a double. I know that it would have been scary, but at the same time, it's not like his opponent's fellowship is doing much.
Right, yeah. Not having that pressure of the opponent's fellowship potentially getting ahead. I just don't think there's a... Chadwick's not feeling like he has to push his fellowship right now. You know, unless something wild is in this deck that we're not expecting. Yeah, he's dealing with a Frodo who's never going to be stronger than a 7, and a Mary that might get up to a 5. And he's playing Urukai. Yeah, they're doing a good job just kind of murdering everybody through.
Ranger of the North coming out of left field. This could keep him alive.
Unequipped. You know, Bellerogue would be a problem here if he doesn't have a stealth. Does he have Filbert?
He did. Filbert was murdered on site 2.
Filbert was murdered on site 2. No Bellerogue coming out though.
Which makes sense. I think he has already proven the Raider squad going down. This might be a one and done for Aragorn coming out and exerting 3 times.
Well, those Raiders are fierce. Yeah, what's the Tower Assassin going after? There's no boundary.
Go after Gaffer. He just showed he was able to peel off like 4 wounds off of Frodo. That was
And then take out one of the party guests. Yeah. Yeah, so Aragorn's gonna go ahead and blaze of glory. And then those Raiders are coming back around. Frodo can't take one if both Saruman's ambitions are played. And Merry can't take one at all. These Raiders are very strong if there's dead allies.
Now, if he has a stealth, which would make sense to hold on to for the Balrog, it could be hilarious if he waits for his opponent
use both
to use both Saruman's ambitions, and then smack him in the face with a stealth and say, "You fool!"
Oh, but Merry is done.
Poor Merry. Yes, I guess those ambitions purchased Merry's death, because if he hadn't have done that against Frodo, then he would have used it to keep Merry alive. So I think that probably was the correct call. But
that was the only scene played though. There was an intuition, or maybe it was discarded. I don't remember seeing it hit the table. And there's a second stealth in the discard pile, so maybe I'm just not remembering, or maybe he's been tossing them for...
Now, there are, in theory, 4 more companions that could be played, but things aren't looking good. I don't know that a Hobbit Hospital wants to really gum up their deck with a whole ton of companions that you're going to constantly ditch, but...
Yeah, it does seem unlikely. Can he get enough orcs out to cause a real problem here? He's running the archers, but we haven't seen a whole lot of archery come through yet. But I'm not sure if that's just because he's happened to have like the cave troll and the working on the Balrog on the sites where he had the Twilight to be able to play something. Because he could fetch a troop from his discard pile here and make this 3 archery total, which will, even if all of the skirmishes are lost, and I don't think they will be.
Did we ever issue that the buff errata for Goblin Archer? We did.
For the Bowman?
No, the Goblin Archer.
Yeah.
Still hasn't been played much. I mean, 5 Twilight is really hard to justify.
I like the assignment ability that he was given, but 5 Twilight.
Yeah, we probably should have reduced it in addition to that. Part of that was just kind of dealing with, the body that we were given, trying to not betray.
Yeah, not change it too much.
Yeah.
Make it more interesting without changing what its kind of job is. All right, so we got another Bowman.
3 Twilight left, but only 3 cards in
Who's-
hand. And with the Fellowship being reduced down to just Frodo, I imagine that if those are important Fellowship cards, they're not going to get ditched.
Yeah.
One more cheap orc would be enough to make the difference, or even just a Scavengers, really. Scavenger would
What
be a
did he
great
spend the
move.
extra point on? When last I looked, he didn't have the scouts, but those are effectively. Oh no, they're not effectively free. Legolas is gone.
Ah,
That's what he spent the points on.
yeah. The first one was free because of the Dimril Dale.
Yep. Right. Yeah. Now he's going to stack a couple of those, maybe. Actually. I don't know if he is. 2 archery wounds is not nothing.
So Gimli pastes 1. Gandalf takes
And
care
then
of
kills
another.
another.
Aragorn takes care of a 3rd.
Yeah, I think every single one of these loses their fight, and only one of them has enough vitality to still be on the table.
I mean, Chadwick's not going to double.
No, he's got no
his,
reason to.
He's got his opponent
Yeah.
on the ropes, and his own vitality is not looking very good. Okay, let's see what
Yeah,
3 cards were so important that he couldn't. They're
They're
back
back
again.
again.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, only one of the 3 had to be super important.
that's true. That's true. I promise,
Um,
not so important.
He may have even chucked one of the others. Oh, doesn't look like it though. Yeah, he didn't discard. So he's still sitting on one of them. He had a promise, and then there and back again.
Man, those Raiders.
I don't think there and back again is going to be enough.
If he has a stealth or an intuition in hand, that plus nope. There's no bounder. There's no.
Yeah, he would need an intuition. Stealth would bring him up to 10, and that Saruman's ambition can push those 2 to a 20.
Oh,
There it is.
there it is. Still 3 wounds going down.
Uh, Using the ambition anyway.
Does he have
another
a
boost?
savagery? Yep, there it is. No bounder to save him.
No, Sithora saying GG even before savagery hit the table.
Yeah, he knew it. He knew that there was no reason to use that ambition unless there was something to stack it with. Okay, well. Excellent showing. Unfortunately, just a little bit too inefficient on the companions there. What else do we
Is that
got?
the last of
I
our
think that was it.
games playing?
Oh no, there's still one going. Stefan and Skilled.
Yep. Looks like they're at site 9. Nope, I've opened the game and it's over.
Oh yeah, it ended right after I got it. Okay. All right, let's take a look at our standings here. We've got Chadwick undefeated again at the very top. We've got Sithdora and Skilled and Dostali each sitting at 2-1, I believe. And then Stefan 77, Ratil, Elfagorn, Mozdrif following after that.
Yep.
So this will be round 4. This will be the last round going in.
Don't give Chadwick the bye.
I will be so mad if the system messes up and hands out the bye again like that. Now, granted, there's actually less
Especially if
competition in
nobody
this
else
situation. It actually won't matter as much if he does. The only thing that made it really annoying before was that there was no...
That's true that they were tied.
Yeah, they were tied. They were both undefeated, so you had to have that round. Now, if it happened, I mean, it would be really annoying, but
it would probably require breaking up 2 games rather than 1.
Yeah. No buy hinted out wrongly. Chadwick versus Distali as our top game here. And Skilled versus Sithora, competing for third, I think.
Okay. Let's see how these manage.
We've got somebody else in the PC voice chat. Carl, man. I don't know who that is.
Me neither. Sorry if you've been meaning to say anything. People that are not on the PC are automatically muted in this particular one since we are streaming live.
You are welcome to watch there, though. So mirror match on the fellowships here. Did I miss it on the last round? I know Chadwick's playing a different shadow. Did he start Sam last time around instead of Furore?
I don't think he did. It might come down to whether or not he was wanting to bid very high, which he did.
Yeah. Yeah, if he's got a feel for what his opponent might be doing, perhaps he's saying, oh, no, I want to go first. But they both bid quite high. It looks like Distali went first anyway. Gandalf and Greenleaf very quickly here, giving Distali a very solid early setup.
And doubling. 17 Twilight. It's quite a lot to leave on the table. And Uruk-hai could really punish it.
Yeah, they're roaming here, but, I mean, nobody's well equipped. 3 strength 9 damage plus 1s is going to at least get you past, though.
The Sanctuary healing. Yeah.
The Sanctuary threshold, yeah. Alerts hitting the table here could be a really big deal if you got just a second character out, but nothing.
Nope.
Oof.
Not a 1.
Putting the math together.
Maybe he spent that whole time shaking his fist at the sky. How could you give me nothing? Well, Aragorn and Bo and Greenleaf getting played on the very first turn. I don't recall what Distali's shadow is, if we've seen it this tournament.
Yeah, he's running a combination of Nazgul and Weather.
Ah, that's right.
With anti-ally tech. Which can come out and being shot down. Distali wants nothing to do with
any of that.
Yeah. Damage plus 1 at site 2. It's a hard no. Does pretty well exhaust him, though, and he's moving anyway. Tay is going to cause a problem unless he's got a boost of some kind.
So that's 1 wound on Aragorn. Oh, nope, sacrificing Sam. Seems like a bold strategy against Nazgul to do it that early. But...
yeah. Then the wound on Aragorn. Yeah, if he had just a single axe out there, Gimli would have been able to help out quite a bit, but
yeah,
no such luck.
Glamdring, staff, and ring going down on Gandalf. Good old Holland. Holland's a good example of the clash between thematics and mechanics. Because when you're designing for something like a site path, you want to say, okay, each culture should have access to something on Site 4 that is useful. And so this is obviously the Uruk-hai example. But Holland has nothing to do with with Uruk-hai. It actually does have a bit to do with Isengard, but because that would have been around where they were when they got swarmed by the Crebain, I think.
Yeah, I mean, nice open field. Uruk-hai are long distance runners. I don't know.
Yeah. The theming is pretty good in Fellowship, but it is not perfect. It just looks
There's a
perfect
lot of
when you
space
see how
between.
terrible it is later.
Yeah, it definitely goes downhill after Realms of the Elf Lords. All right, starting to see some of those minions come out, keeping nice and cheap. Saruman's going to let him assign and really punish the exhausted. No, I'm looking at the wrong fellowship. At least put some extra exertions down, but may be able to ensure a legless kill here. The other one on Gimli.
Legolas takes his lumps rather than.
If he tried to stop it, he'd be dead.
He'd get killed, yeah. Gimli, on the other hand, may be a bit more stubborn. He's thinking about it.
Both decks here seem to be running the Raiders, but neither of them seem to have allies. Curious to see how effective those feel like they are. Oh, Gimli's saying no.
Yep. Stubborn dwarf won't take it.
Yeah, passing the ring. He wanted Frodo dead. Gimli could have survived that fight. Whether that was trying to get down to 4 companions or just
I think that must be
recognizing,
it. Cause,
like the last game, that there's not burdens out there. It's time to pass it on.
yeah. Was it the Stally that did the same thing earlier? Just making sure that he got down below that 5
It was.
threshold.
But he then proceeded to play more companions on the very next turn, so...
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess we'll see.
Hard to say here. Oh, he's got his Wizard Storm.
Comes that Wizard Storm.
Yeah. Probably not playing anything else here. Gonna... Nope.
Gates and Inquaya. Alright.
Alright.
Terra Assassin,
More anti-ally tech.
You're not. I don't really want you to move past 4, and I'm really gonna make you decide for yourself that you don't want to move past 4. There's
You were never gonna move past 4.
Yeah, don't kid yourself. Although with how neck and neck it is on the Fellowship side, it may well have just been a matter of dropping that combo to get it out of the hand. It's 2 cards out.
Yeah, I mean, the rotating cards is a huge piece of this game. If your deck doesn't cycle, then very good chance that you don't progress very well. Yeah, so there's a 5th companion again. He did stay below 6, I suppose. And Frore is going to be able to do some work against the Uruk-hai.
Yeah, I think if you have to decide between no savageries or, less powerful savageries and someone who's actually good against Uruks, you got to try that. And here we go. Here comes Lurtz.
Yeah, Saruman making the Ravager fierce as well.
I think I need to go back and do another art pass on this particular full art. The face in particular is not very well exposed.
For the full art there, you mean?
Yeah, it's kind of dark. I think that in 2 seconds I could make that much more visible now. The experience talking, having done dozens of those now.
Is he one of the earlier ones?
He was fairly early, yeah.
Using the Saruman's ambition to make... Yeah. He may yet boosting Gandalf well, and Sam's going to heal him up when he maybe does not
there's
win.
The savagery.
Speaking too soon all day.
Now we get to do it again. Gandalf still has enough vitality to not die from this, but...
Yeah, but Frore doesn't.
I think Greenleaf
Somebody else
goes out. I think you want to try and hold on to Frore until the Sanctuary, and Gimli, they've got... there's a bunch of cards in there for axes and such. Do you want to pump him up as well as you can? Yeah, things are not looking good.
Yeah, and Gimli's going to be your strongest fighter if you can get his stuff.
Balrog. Who needs a Balrog? We got the Ugly Man Bone crew.
I mean, Lurtz is better than the Balrog if your opponent can't get to strength 14. You know, they're both 2 wounds. Fierce, but Lurtz is an archer. All right, we got Wizard Storm underground. That feels a little odd.
Do you hear rain? I think I hear rain.
Okay, and no Balrog going for minions again.
Now this Cantea is actually kind of painful.
Yeah, I mean Legolas or Gandalf can take the wounds, but it's going to deal a couple.
I suppose Legolas doesn't get hurt too badly.
Yeah, that Raider's not a big deal at all without the dead ally. Dwarven Axe use there actually potentially has some real effects. If he decided to just win the skirmish and be willing to be a 9, he would then lose in the Fierce against Gandalf.
Yeah, so he actually did prevent
Discarding
he saw that coming.
The bottom card there was important. Neither of these players are making it through their deck fast enough to worry about the bottom cards, most likely, but something that can come up towards the end of the game.
So ambitious.
So ambitious. Yeah, these Raiders really just don't do much without allies on the table. They're really strong when there's allies there, but without them out, they only cost 2, but they're not pulling a lot of weight. Though I suppose Saruman's ambitions always put them in potential,
it's true,
risk area. So not being wasted by any stretch either. Destali really not pulling his equipment here that he needs. If these dwarves were wielding what they normally would be, this would be easy for them, but kind of a rough state.
Well, troop would make things difficult anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if he doesn't have something in hand, he might be losing 2 companions here.
I think it might be a matter of trying to pick who goes down. You can't even use Sam at this juncture. Chavik and chat.
No.
At least I got you to think. It's definitely a rough choice, but with that floating +4 strength on the ambitions, he can't use Sam here. Gimli dies, Fror dies, Gandalf dies, so who do you sacrifice?
Yeah, if he's got a boost in hand, we know he's running the We May Yet. Sam could utilize that to take on somebody, probably the Raider. He's been running. Was Destali running the Flurry of Blows? I know Chadwick was.
But Flurry of Blows, well, I guess you got a hand axe over there on Fror. That could make a difference.
Well, and Fror's going to be a 10. So you only need a +2, +1 really, for him to be able to beat the Raider, even if both ambitions are used.
Destali giving some insight. I'm waffling on risking if you have bread for battle. You know what? YOLO.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. All right.
Nope. Here it is. Yep. You called it. We May Yet on Sam. That puts him outside the range of the +4 on Troop being able to
ambitions.
Be able to go. But a bread for battle would definitely ruin his day.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Or savagery. That's riskier than I thought. Yeah. Yep. There it is.
There it is.
He was thinking too much about the esoteric threats that might possibly show up. He completely forgot about the one event that Isengard is completely known for. Oh, that hurts.
They're wrong.
He should have listened to his gut. It was screaming at him, not, and he thought he heard "Bred for Battle." No, it's savagery, my man, savagery.
Yep. There's another one.
There's
just
another
to rub
one.
it in.
Okay, so yeah, both people. Yeah, that would have been 2 deaths, regardless. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts there. Okay,
Oof.
well, Destally doesn't listen to his gut, pays for it. So that'll be Chadwick going undefeated. So who do we have left? We have ourselves Stefan77 versus Alphagorn, Skilled versus Sithdora. Look, we got a very nice little Moria swarm going on here on Site 5. Sithdora throwing the Balrog plus 5 orcs.
Ooh. Today's not been a great day for the Balrog overall. This is nice to see.
Yeah. The Balrog deserves a win, you know?
Yeah. Sure, absolute demon from hell that destroyed an entire population, but sometimes you just gotta give it to him. Gandalf sitting this one out. Very uncharacteristically at the Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
You know what?
To see...
I've seen this movie before. You guys can handle it.
I didn't like the way it ended last time.
Poor old Sam. Trying to take the place of Gandalf.
I mean, few better to pull that off. If it's not going to be Sam, or if it's not going to be Gandalf, I'd like to see Sam take the Balrog out. There's no staff asunder for him, though, unfortunately. Nope. Pippin's going too. I feel like that Pippin, what is it, of Tewksbury, often gets tossed before Merry Friend of Sam. But I feel like the Pippin is, I suppose, better for survival, and Merry Friend of Sam is better for winning. But I'm often surprised to see Pippin and not Merry be the one that's.
I think it's a matter of people just being used to Merry being the one that you keep around. But yeah, Merry is one shot, right? You get to use him once, whereas Pippin you can use up to 3 times. So
right, yeah. He was exhausted, so maybe he's just looking at the future and saying, "Yeah, I don't think I'm putting my 3 sanctuary heals there."
Yeah,
but the not overwhelmed unless tripled. Not enough Frodo signets out for the other part to matter, but really strong. It's one of the few Pippins that you actually want to keep alive. So many of them are useful.
That was entirely the purpose of designing him in V1, was that every Pippin sucked in Fellowship Block. And so we wanted to give people a reason to care about him. That was also one of the driving forces behind the errata for talent for not being seen, splitting it up into 2, making it so that, okay, if you want this, you have to put it on Merry or Pippin, and then you have to try and keep Pippin alive. So...
yeah, it has the side effect, intended or otherwise, of making it much harder to do a... Oh no, I'm forgetting the name of the card. From Reflections, that makes Merry and Pippin stronger for their vitality.
Everyone knows?
Everyone knows. Because they need at least 1 vitality boost for that to really work out. 2, or a sword, to get strong enough to be winning a good percentage of their fights. So if you also want to go a little sneakily, you're now in Grima territory.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I'm looking for. Having a rough time remembering card names today. I'm sorry for that.
It's all good.
I know what they look like on the table. I know what they do, but...
Honestly, that's half the reason why the wiki here has the thumbnail index. It's so you can go set by set and say, okay, what does it look like? And you can scroll really quickly and try to find them.
Yeah, I really like the new deck builder for that as well. You can just search for part of the text that you know what it does.
Yes.
How many Hobbit conditions use the term vitality? Let's look for that.
And that's something that the advanced search on the wiki has had for a long time, but you're right that actually being able to do that in GAMP was one of the major new killer features for the grand card rework. Because now that we did the rework that way, all the text was accessible and in a way that we could set up that search. So that was, yeah.
Greenleaf coming out to round out the 5.
Sleep Crowd just being used to dunk on a couple of the Moria conditions that we're building up. Moria Archer Troop coming out again. Is it going to make a difference?
I want to see 2 of them. They're so good in pairs. Yeah, I know
one of them is just kind of sad. It's 6 Twilight for...
Right. It's a very expensive 1 wound and skirmish loss.
Yeah. You overpaid for that lost skirmish. You could have done that with -1 Twilight on just another runner.
Yo, I mean the 1 archery is not the worst thing in the world, but you can get that out of a bowman for a lot fewer Twilight.
Yep.
Healing Bilbo to get ready to get rid of more support area stuff if it ever shows up. And it's quite the Hobbit army down there.
Yeah, the Hobbit Hospital is definitely coming together this time. Not getting ripped apart.
Yeah, they're holding up a lot better than the first game we watched for Sithora this round.
All it took was that Raider, or really it was the Assassin that kicked it off, right? Just picking one of them off, and then the Raiders kept him down forevermore after that.
Yeah, the Raiders don't, other than Bounder, the Raiders can't really kill the Hobbit allies. Because they don't exert except during the Fellowship phase.
Right.
But once one is gone, 9 damage plus 1 fierce for only 2 points is fairly significant minion against Hobbit Hospital.
Yep.
Yeah, but here is the hospital in action. Getting a nicely cleaned up Fellowship. Aragorn coming out to ensure no swarms deal with their friends here. Suppose why not? If you don't think you're going to need all of the healing you're going to get next turn. Reduce the shadow cost a little bit. Atea, Twilight Nelia, but with 1 wound and 1 burden, not 2 of either.
Yep. It's always the roughest for this particular one. But those hobbits down there have done a good job of making sure that the wound count stays low.
Yeah, no burden removal on the field at present, so I'm not sure. Frodo's going to win the fight anyway.
Go away, Nazgul.
Just to rub it in. I don't want to deal with you. Oh, maybe not.
There we go. That's the second time that we've had a surprise Nazgul skirmish event. It's +3.
Even for skirmish events from Nazgul being unusual, I am surprised by which one it is. Frozen by Fear is, for a set of events that are usually not worth the deck space, I feel like one of the lowest ones.
So what are our options? Let's go take a look at the search real quick.
Yeah, you've got, I think it's Dark Whispers, which is free, but does require at least 3 burdens before it does anything. But it gives damage +1, so if that's something you're working with, it can go a long way. And then there's the one that is +2, or I believe +5 if you spot 5 burdens.
So if all veils removed, make a Nazgul strike +2 or +5 if the ring bearer wears the One Ring.
Oh, where's the One Ring?
That's a little bit difficult. Dark Whispers, yeah, like you're saying, does nothing if you don't have 3 or 6 burdens. Frozen by Fear, which is the one we saw, +2 or +3 if the ring bearer is assigned to a skirmish that is not yet resolved, which I think has, besides the fact that you could use it in situations like that where it's actually in the ring bearer skirmish, I think it's pretty common for people to hold off on that. Threshold of Shadow. Let me pull my window out a little bit.
Yeah.
Make it as strength
+4 if you spot
+4
5
if you spot 5
burdens.
burdens. That's practically the same thing as, well, whatever. Wraith World, not really a skirmish event. News of Mordor is for Isengard minions, and then White Faces Burned, which is a V1 skirmish event for Twilight Nazgul.
Which I like a lot.
Yeah.
That is one that I'll run with some frequency. I think that one was well designed.
And that
the
can
damage
definitely
+1
scale
the Witch
up,
King
+3,
is a nice
+4.
surprise.
Yeah.
But Nazgul have a very
News of
hard
Mordor
time.
you just showed was the deciphered version. That's actually been errated in PC. It's a maneuver event now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. News of Mordor would not be able to be usable here, but it searched and found the old one. Yeah.
It is I quite like the new version. You don't get the surprise damage +1, which can be unfortunate, but the utility to go both ways and potentially protect like an Isengard Smith, for example, is really nice.
And honestly, just a Nazgul that's fierce and damage +1, like, you don't need the surprise. Like, that's gonna make waves for you.
Right. So we did finally see Amori Archer Troop get its ability kicked off. Mithril Coat reducing the total archery to 2 still, but
you know what? I didn't even think about that, but that's probably why. Yeah, I was looking at it trying to figure out where he had put the archery from last site, and yeah, it went to the Mithril Coat probably.
Yep.
Didn't go anywhere.
Got an Archer Commander stacked on the Goblin Swarms along with Moria Scout. I'd like to say that'll be free to eat a swarm in the future. Yeah, definitely in much better shape this time around, but is going to need to double pass the Sanctuary to put real pressure for a free people's win. As a hospital deck, that might be fine though.
Yeah, that might really be doable.
Yeah, 3 bounders in play.
3 bounders, 2 party guests, not feared in sunlight. And yeah, I forgot where you read it that. Yeah, it sticks around. Discard this condition to make each Nazgul strength -4 until the regroup phase. So like that. Yeah, that'll that'll ruin their day. But he's gotta start picking up the pace. I think he's got the
well, it's to the regroup phase. So if he's planning on that double.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't do it now, but I would do it on the second move. Like if you're going from 6 to 7.
Well, but it's a fellowship event. You can't use it when you move in the regroup phase. Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I think it was a nice upgrade, but I'm still surprised to see it. Yeah, the regroup phase discarding conditions, I think usually feel like they just don't last long enough for their effect.
Yeah.
Because they're scripted. It's not like an event that you can play when you need it, and then it lasts until the regroup phase. I'm confident that some of them are probably fine, but I feel like I always struggle to make them work in a deck. That Pale Blade potentially getting rid of promises is going to be a big deal here.
3 promises or 2 promises and a not feared. Although, wouldn't it be funny if he got rid of the consorting so that he could play a...
So that he could kill Bilbo?
Mortar Assassin next, yeah, that would.
Yeah, I don't see... I'm just looking at the board, a likelihood of a +8 here. No, there is the victory and...
Oh yeah, they're back again.
That
totally makes sense. Oh, Elbereth is also
Elbereth could be a good call.
Yeah. Honestly, he's kind of...
It's a lot of options here.
Yeah, he's got a buffet. Which one do I want to get rid of? Yeah, but 2 copies of A Promise and 1 copy of... Yeah.
Yep, canceling the Fierce Skirmish. Filbert is so good. I can't believe that Decipher had him working for the Ring Bearer. Like, insanely strong.
Skirmish canceling in general is just kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's a reason they changed that in Movie Block.
Yeah, I just stopped using it, at least until post movie block. That was something that I saw at the some of those events that we were doing at PC event expanded. The hobbits were right back at it and canceling stuff left, right, and center.
Yep. At least the Ring Bearer couldn't do it though.
Yeah, at least there's that. So there's no
Especially with alternate Ring Bearers. If Smeagol could cancel skirmishes. Potentially going to be a huge archery hit here if he can get. There's one. It's got an archer commander on the swarms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough armories to make the use of relics free to get the card draw out. Making your 4-strength Goblin Bowman a 6 probably is not going to make a difference here, but the card draw might be big.
So he's got an archer commander there.
Yeah. If he another armory. If he can pull 2 troops, he'd be in really strong position here.
That just feels like putting salt on the wound. That not only do you have to pay
6 apiece for these guys, you also have to pay 3 cards from hand.
Blah. Yeah. Well, and he doesn't have the Twilight to do 2 troops and the archer commander.
Yeah.
But even, I mean, Bowman at this point, you're at the Brownlands.
Well, he's Twilight positive if he uses relics. So if he's got 2 more scimitars in there.
Oh, that's true. Does he?
Nope. No, he doesn't.
Not look like it.
That is the worst part about Moria, is not having your scimitars come out. It would honestly actually be an incredibly powerful card that just, if it was just like a Site 1 card or something that said discard 4 scimitars from your deck, every Moria deck would play it. Because it would. That is the most inconsistent part about playing it, is that sometimes they just end up on the bottom and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, Goblin Runner coming out. I feel like what else do you play? They are coming. All right, so there's 1 archer troop. He's still got the archer commander.
Well, there's an axe.
From hand is going to add a few more.
No, that was played using Relics of Moria. It was Twilight neutral because
Ooh, Unkay is a good bet there.
Yeah, who do we go for? Boromir? No. He's got Aragorn's bow, so yeah, just say, all right, you're not using that.
Yeah.
And then Greenleaf, of course, is going to feel obligated to take out Unquea. Yeah. Which, honestly, getting 2 wounds on Greenleaf there is...
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's going to be 3, 4, 5... With our coat 4 archery as well. He's definitely got the vitality to absorb it, but it's not leaving him feeling comfortable. Loading up Frodo, sharing it with Gandalf.
Ooh, even throwing it on burdens.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're there for. It's unlikely he's also running Lost to the Goblins.
Has Sam already died? Yeah, Sam already died, so no chance of him coming in as a rescue. Yeah, this is... Now that they're over that hump... You've got 11 strength on Gandalf, 10 strength on Aragorn, so that's the Moria Archer Troop and the Moria Scout taken care of, and then Boromir is going to be 7 against Goblin Bowman 6, and then Legolas can take out Runner. So all of the rest of these guys are going to get completely knocked out.
Yep.
No problem whatsoever. But yeah, those scimitars being on the bottom of your deck. Hate to see it.
Yeah, only 15 cards left. You know, it's not like they're not cycling here.
Yeah.
Though this is fairly small for a Moria deck. You know, 51 discarded, 15 in the discard pile, 0 in hand. Yeah, it's not a... This is a tight deck for Moria.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, good handful on the field. But maybe 80 cards. I'm not going to count everything in play. Yeah, hospital doing hospital things. Unfortunately,
35
didn't double
cards
last turn,
on the
so-
table, so it is actually a pretty sizable deck.
It's a bit bigger than I was thinking.
It's just that all the Hobbit cards got played, so they're there. They're not in the discard pile or anything.
Yeah, making some good movement here with the hospital, getting Boromir out, but can't get to Site 9. There's no move +1 that he could play here.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I was gonna
think
say
this is
now's
all
the
just
time
a
to
cycle.
gun it and use that Not Feared in Sunlight, but
yeah, he needed to double last turn to have that as a real shot.
yeah. I mean, he's gonna use it anyway. Yeah, you may as well just
May as well.
make it easy for yourself. Oh,
There goes the
and a
allies.
confluence. There it goes. Kaboom.
I wonder if one of those last.
I
7
wonder if
cards
that's
is
why
a
he moved
Pathfinder.
slowly, because he knew that it was going to be there. Look at that. We're all the way up to 68 cards in the discard pile from the 50-something that was there before. Boom, boom, boom. Honestly, I wonder if there's a Pathfinder in the deck.
Yeah,
Because like if you're going to be including that Aragorn anyway, that might be a good idea to try and avoid that confluence. The world's
you only need
wimpiest
one.
Inquaya coming out with an Nazgul sword plate on him and is only 9 strength.
Why is he exerting for fear? There's 6 companions. He could kill Boromir.
Oh no! Did he not realize? Does he not care? It doesn't really matter. Like,
I mean, I suppose it doesn't matter.
it's just like whatever, bro. I'm using that to cycle out of my hand, and
You
then
know, just getting rid of the cards.
yeah, just get onto the fight that matters, which is the next turn. He's not going to move again. He just lost his whole
No.
hospital. He's 2 sites
Well, even if
behind.
he did, I mean, you're unlikely to get a kill there, and he's not going to be able to catch up.
Yeah. So, on to the main event.
What
Zadora
does
now
Skilb
has to pull
have?
out a win with 5 cards in deck, 8 cards in hand, and his whole deck in the discard pile. So,
All right. There's a Aragorn heal, a Gandalf
Fine
heal.
pan on Frodo.
Yeah.
It's not
Removed a
something-
burden as well.
Oh, and Clamdring. Yeah, let's see here. We have a Goblin Armory, a Bowman, a Scimitar, a Bowman, a Host of Thousands, Cave Troll, Consorting with Wizards, and Goblin Bowman. So, a bunch of Bowman.
Drawing 3 more cards. Will be out of deck by the time those Scimitars get played. Those Scimitars are going to help boost that shadow quite a bit. There's 4 armories in play. Those bowmen would have been really nice at the Brown Lands.
Yep.
I get playing in Kea, because if enough archery had reduced him to 5, it wouldn't have been worthwhile at Site 9. But missing out on 4 wounds seems painful. Out of cards. Scimitars are still worth Twilight, and they could contribute to a skirmish.
He's got 2 things on his swarms. He's got 2 usages of his They're Coming available.
Yeah.
Warrior
Running
Arch
low.
Troop.
Yeah, he's got 1 more Scimitar to pull. May as well pull it for a net of 2.
May as well put it on the archer troop. Actually make it able to
to win by itself.
Although maybe wait for the archer commander to come out and put it on that so that he doesn't get sniped early and reduce the
Archer commander would boost a lot of the table. He does have a cave troll in hand. If he I think archer commander plus Moria troop is the same cost though, and I think that's the stronger play here. That's 3 more
with those archery wounds.
And this is a lot of archery coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If he plays the 2 from swarms, it'll be 8. Mithril Coat makes it 7, but I mean that's
a lot.
He doesn't have 7 vitality.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6. Well, he does with burdens. Nobody will have to die during.
Yeah, I think that's what he's decided. Yeah, you just got to start counting the actual.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
Oh, who conceded?
Oh
no! He ran out of time. Oh no! Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to it out. Oh,
no, it wasn't either.
I gotta watch that clock rough. In a competitive situation. Yeah, that's rough. I really, at some point, I kind of want to put in audio cues. I just don't know how to balance the annoyingness and the necessary reminder that, hey, bro, you're taking an awful lot of time to make these decisions.
Yeah, even something like at 1, 2, 3, and 5 minutes left. Like if it just text popped up on screen, like not something you had to close, not something you had to deal with, but just big enough you couldn't miss it.
Yeah.
A little overlay that you could still play all the stuff underneath that just said time remaining.
Yeah, need to try and figure that out. Well, let's take a look here and see what the final.
And also, all of that said, though, like watching the clock is part of a competitive event.
Yeah, like it's.
In the same thread we talked in the last one of these this morning about whether or not we should make Defender +1, Damage +1 kind of more obvious on the cards.
Yeah.
And back in the day, cards on the table, that's not something that you have highlighted for you. How much of that kind of competitive level of playing is about understanding what everything's doing.
Yeah, Sadora in the chat says, "My bad with the time." Yeah, well, I mean, it's rough to see you lose like that. I think you had that one in the bag. It would have been dicey, but I think you could have pulled it off. So sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, not a guarantee, but I think that there was a very good chance that. I mean, Skilled himself said in the chat that he thought that he had him. So.
Oh. Yeah, there is one more minion than companion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he had I think he had him.
Yeah.
I'm looking at what's on the table and ignoring the fact that there's still 6 points and at least one minion that can be dropped.
And if there's another Moria axe in the discard pile, then that's another 3. Or no, hang on, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's still only +1, but
yeah.
And then there was I'm not even looking at the right one.
Yeah, it's a solid swarm.
Yeah, 3 more cards in hand, so that's another 2 minions that you could get out, I think.
Yeah, enough armories for Aragorn's bow and frying pan to not be able to do enough to matter.
If they're even going to have vitality by then. Although Aragorn's bow would be able to do something, but there's not going to be anything left once all the arrows land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 arrows going down. -1 for the.
Yeah, -1 for Mithril.
Okay, well, let's look at the final standings. We have Chadwick going undefeated. We have Skilled going 3-1. We have Sethora, Stefan, Dustali, and Mazdraf going 2-2. And we have Ratil and Alphagorn going 1-3. So congratulations to everyone who played. We will definitely make sure that the standings are posted later today, especially for the EU version that is actually not accurate yet here in the standings over there. I'll make sure that that gets fixed. We'll get all the decks posted. We'll get all the digital rewards issued. So we'll try and wrap that up. If not today, then probably tomorrow. So thank you very much.
I'll hold off until the final standings
before
I post anything.
Yeah,
But we'll get those out today or tomorrow.
Yeah, good call. All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. See you all next time.
Yeah, thank you for hosting this, Qatar. These are great.
Yeah.
I know I have fun. I hope people enjoy listening.